Wow, Charlotte, good afternoon from England. How wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you've settled in well. I think it's been a week since you're back. Um, Enjoying the weather there, which must be much cooler than what we are experiencing here, as you can imagine. And I hope your family's well, your mom and dad are well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing this. It's pretty special, right? That we can be connected in no matter where we are in today's world. Hi, Christine. Good morning to you too. And Lita is just joining us. And yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. I've had a good week, and I hope you've had a good one too. I've had lots of what did I do during the week? Some more connection with people, some rest, some exercise, some creativity, coming up with some new workshops, which I hope to be sharing soon. Oh, wow. Hi, Lita. Good evening. And I have some very special people joining me, who've not joined me before live. Hi, Savita. That's good evening to you from Muscat. And hi, Shama. And yeah, so what I was saying was that I've hoping to bring up some new workshops that I will be sharing soon. And Tony says, Namaste Guruji. I am nobody's guru, but perhaps yours, just because I can say that. Hi Joni, hi Shiva. Thank you so much for bringing this live on the Lightworkers group. I really appreciate that. And good morning, Joni. Belated happy 4th of July for you, Joni. I hope it was a great celebration. I've had some summers when I've been in the US on the 4th of July, and it's rather special to, see the fireworks. I'm not sure if there was an option to see that today. Wow, I've got some really new people joining me today, and that's Alwyn, an old friend who's now living in Bangalore. But welcome to today's live meditation. I hope you will stay with us. Happy Guru Purnima to you too, Lita. It's my joy to share, like I've always said. If there is no one to hear and share the knowledge, there is a give and take. Only then it feels complete. Without it, there is no meaning to what we share together. Joni says it was fun and loud with fireworks. Yeah, fireworks is quite amazing, right? It tends to be loud, but yet I don't know, each one has their own relationship with fireworks, and I do understand that it adds to pollution, but there is a sense of a childlike innocence that it definitely brings up for a number of us. So hi Anu, thank you so much for joining in. And I really look forward to sharing, because today is a very special day. There are multiple auspicious aspects of today's day that I hope to talk about. And Kim, good evening to you too. Thank you for joining. And so I'm hoping to talk a little bit about the different aspects that are in today's energy, but we will focus on just one aspect of it. So I think it is 5 p.m. I'll give it just one more minute before I start sharing what we're going to be doing today and what is the meaning behind today's special day. And yeah, I look forward to hearing what your experience will be at the end of today's meditation. Okay, so let's talk about today's day, and I just want to wish my uncle good evening, uncle. Thank you so much. It's Guru Purnima, and thank you so much for being there with your blessings on this special day with me. Okay, so today is another full moon and is also a lunar eclipse. It's called Buck Full Moon Day. It also has some other special names given to it, and it's also called Thunder Moon. It is also called Dharma Day, and it is called Guru Moon. So let's just understand, what do we mean by, why is it called Buck Moon? So very simply, it is called Buck Moon because this is the season when the buck grows new antlers. Okay, so that is the reason why it's called the Buck Moon. But on a spiritual level, what do those antlers mean? We do know that the antlers are buck's pride. The stronger the antlers, the stronger its confidence and the energy that it steps out with. It's its sense of pride. And we do know that all of us have experienced a very unique way of rebuilding ourselves through 2020. And we're all growing new antlers because we've all had to really pause, regroup, and be getting ready to go back into a new normal. And these new antlers will be our sense of pride of what we have gained in the huge chaos of life. Through this, we could even call it thunderstorm, because this moon is also called thunder moon. And so we do know that thunderstorms come, they disrupt things, but we do come up with fresh energy to deal with life again. And that is what spiritually the thunder moon as well as the new antlers mean for us today. So today's full moon supports us in the growth of new antlers, which will be our sense of pride of what we've gained through this pause, through this chaos of life that was presented to each one of us. Another aspect, or rather name given to this day, is the Dharma Day. It's called Dharma Day because it is believed that Buddha shared his first sermon today at the Saranath Deer Park in India. So it is hence called Dharma Day, because in Buddhism, the sermons that were delivered by Buddha were called the Dharma talks. If any one of you follow, the various people who follow Buddhism conduct Dharma talks, and they are generally revolving around a particular aspect of life and how we can use that wisdom to get past different situations of life. So it very fits in with that Buck Moon, the thunder moon concept. And today, as we've all been wishing, some of us have been wishing one another, it's Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is an auspicious day celebrated in India. Okay, let's zero down on that word Guru. Okay, we're all familiar with that word, but let's just understand what Guru means. Guru is made up of two words, or it can be broken into two words. The Sanskrit root meaning of Gu means ignorance or darkness, and Ru is the person who takes away the darkness or the ignorance. Now, I've always mentioned this again before in some of my sessions, that we all have that benevolent, wise part of us at the center. Yeah, we have that wisdom. There is a guru within each one of us. And the layers of ignorance and darkness sometimes dims that light, that true, authentic self that is part of each of us. The experiences or the people who help peel off those layers of darkness to get to the core, the wise part of us, is a guru. Now, the guru does not have to be only a person. The guru can be an experience too. So, firstly, we all have the guru within us, and it's only when we allow those layers to be peeled off to get to the core of our guru that we come to that self-realization. Okay, so we are all a guru to ourselves. We also have various life's experiences, and each of those experiences, whether they are what we want to call it as good or challenging, each one of them serve as a guru in our lives. So that's another element of guru in our everyday life. And then of course we have the connection, the human connection, and the different relationships we have through our life, each one serving as a guru. I like to call it the Ha Guru and the Na Guru. It's a bit of a Hindi word. Ha means yes and Na means no. So the yes gurus and the no gurus. What I mean by that is the yes gurus are of course the ones we learn from, their wisdom and their teachings, perhaps starting with our parents, our teachers, our mentors, different people who come and go in our lives, spiritual teachers and everybody. But there are also the Na-gurus, the ones who really push our boundaries, and perhaps our interaction with them is not the most pleasant. However, they still are our gurus because they help peel off those layers of darkness and ignorance within us, because from that connection, we are challenged to bring out the best in us, the guru in us. So a guru, in short, is anyone or anything that helps us remove the layers of darkness or ignorance within us, or around the core who we are. Okay, we're going to take inspiration from Lord Dattatreya, who is known as the guru of environmental education. Dattatreya was basically a sage who drew strength or knowledge of spirituality and self-realization and self-awareness by observing the surroundings. Everything that showed up in his life, he looked at with the eyes of, how is this serving as a guru for me, and learned that lesson from it and applied it in his life. So exactly like how Dattatreya did, looking at his surroundings and he came up with 24 gurus. Now we will not cover all 24 gurus, but in today's meditation I have brought in some of the gurus that Dattatreya drew his wisdom and his knowledge, his self-realization and his self-awareness from. Okay, and we are not going to go into nature to find those 24 gurus, or how many ever gurus get revealed to you today. We are actually going to go right into the chaos of life, right in the middle of everyday life, and we are going to draw strength and wisdom and knowledge from the different aspects that we experience when we are right in the middle of life, because that's what I do in Graceful Reflections. My goal is always to help find spirituality in everyday experiences. So we're going to find our gurus in our everyday occurrences, in our everyday connection and interactions. So that's what we're going to do today, and enjoy the meditation, and then at the end we will of course receive the guidance from our higher self as to how do we go into the new world with our new antlers. All right, so let's start the meditation for today, and I'm going to play the music and I'm going to change the camera angle, and please enjoy it. All right, here we go. All right, so let's do this first, and the music comes on. That's the music not coming on just yet, but that's our first guru for today. Patience. Okay. I'm going to anyway start and retry the music in just a few seconds again. So settle down. Again, today is your choice. Would you like to sit or lie down through today's meditation? It's completely your choice. Get comfortable in whatever position you have chosen to experience today's meditation. Very gently shift your focus to your natural breath. Watch the inhalation and exhalation. And let every inhalation and exhalation help you to ease and calm your mind. As you will take yourself through a very unique task today. You're going to be finding your gurus in a very busy mall on a weekend. We are using the shopping mall as an analogy of life. A mall for some is a place to go to get essentials. For someone else, it is to go for entertainment. It could be the place to go for work, business, or sales. Some of us go to the mall to get gifts for others. And for some, it is to go get a cup of coffee or a meal with friends. And for some, it is to seek respite from harsh weather conditions when we want to be out but cannot be because of the weather. We choose to go to the mall. Whatever the reason, a visit to the mall can be stimulating for some, a chore for some, perhaps an annoyance for some, or perhaps a pure lack of something of substance to do. In a strange way, it represents various experiences of life. You don't really know what you are likely to experience on your trip to the mall. Who you could meet, what you could come away with from the visit. But the only certainty, as in life, is that the mall will close at the end of the day. It is a warm and windy day. You are sitting in your garden, sipping a warm cup of tea or coffee, pondering your daily ritual of a walk in the park. The sound of the wind is always mesmerizing for you. Somehow in the wind you can hear your inner thoughts more clearly. It gives you the permission to wander just like how the wind does. The wind goes everywhere without being influenced by the spaces it travels. And it brings back the true essence of who you are. You always feel like you're having a truthful and honest conversation with the world, and the wind is your messenger. You gently close your eyes and you whisper the desire to have an enjoyable day. With that message, you notice your messenger, your wind messenger, is also picking up dust today. So going for a stroll in the park might not be very comfortable. So you decide to take a trip to the mall instead. And that way, you can get some necessary errands done too. So you go indoors to get ready for your trip to the shopping mall. Choosing the proper attire and the right footwear is fairly easy. The decision that needs more thought is, should you go with someone or not? You know, if you are alone, it gives you the opportunity to explore at leisure if you feel drawn to doing that today. And yet, being with someone means companionship and sharing of thoughts. You generally prefer company when going to the mall, but today you choose to go alone. With that decision made, it leads to the next consideration. Should you drive there? Or should you consider other means of transport? You weigh the pros and cons. Driving means in and out at your own convenience. Bringing bags home becomes easy. But the parking is a nightmare at the mall on a weekend. A taxi or a bus, all are very tempting options. Less worrisome about meandering through traffic or finding parking spaces, and the hassle of paying for parking tickets. But you have a short walk to the mall from a bus and a taxi stand, bags, and a windy day to deal with. Various factors to consider. You think, what do I fancy today? A smile comes to your face. The power of the mind and the way it manages the many options presented in this material life. It is our gift of choice, of free will, that we have, and how each choice has the potential to lead us to a different experience or a different path. As you're still trying to make a decision, your eyes drift to the ceiling and you see a small spider busy making its way through its web. The web being carefully planned in the hope for insects. The web eventually may be eaten up by the spider itself. It makes you think, How many times we plan our lives only to be changed by the transient nature of the material world. How many webs have we carefully laid out? And how many webs have we put down ourselves only to bring up another one? You pause to recollect how many times your plans had to be reviewed to adjust the constant change in the world around you. And you appreciate your own ability to regroup and start again. Just like the wind, you don't realize how you suddenly find yourself at the entrance of the mall. It feels like entering a whole new dimension of its own. You realize that you have not been consciously aware and resolve to change that. You acknowledge that today you will be a keen observer. This resolve sets the tone for heightened senses and a raised awareness of what's going to go around yourself today in the mall. The mall is exceptionally busy, and you realize the special offers this week must be the reason for it. You get tempted to go and check out the special offers. You meander through the variety of clothing, shoes, jewelry, home decor, going in and out of the trial rooms, giving in to your feeling that life should be enjoyed. You suddenly realize something unique about your buying instincts today. Even though you loved the new pair of boots that you just tried on, and that power suit looked amazing on you. You seem to have drawn pleasure from just trying them on, free of attachment. You were able to keep your focus on the resolution you had taken a few weeks ago on the new moon night, that you will not be distracted by unnecessary material things. Instead, you're focused to accomplish the stepping stone that you had resolved to accomplish on the new moon 2 weeks back. And then you remember the analogy of the fish, who due to its uncontrolled desire to eat, gets caught by the bait that tempts it to eat more than what it needs. The special offers at the mall today are the bait. You instead choose to be like the bee who draws nectar from one flower to another without harming the flower. Wow, you notice that the resolve to be a keen observer today before you enter the mall is working in your favor. You pause to look back at all the times you were the fish and all those times you lived mindfully as a bee. Feeling rather proud of your ability to resist the temptation, you choose to go and sit in the atrium of the mall. The skylight is lit brightly, and it casts a warm and inviting glow around. The atrium has a beautiful fountain with well-manicured natural foliage around. It is a picture book representation of nature in the midst of the hustle and bustle of the mall. You find a nice place to sit and observe the sky from there. The clear blue sky and clouds drifting by are a pleasant sight. The essence of the vastness of the sky is apparent even through the limited view of the skylight. You see birds finding their flight in its vastness. You observe the clouds roaming in its space with delicate grace. You sit there in awe of its infinite presence. And realize how beautifully in the midst of this chaos at the mall, you can find this very presence of your infinite self. It is a space sacred to you and is your connection to the divine. Truly finding the calm in the chaos. You make a promise to hold the essence of this moment for future. The touch of a little hand on your leg takes you momentarily from your awe-struck gaze. You look down with a gentle smile on your face, and you see a little child standing next to you, smiling back at you, with bright eyes, expressing her pure joy of offering you a balloon that has a smiley face on it. The sheer innocence of the child, the freedom from material attachments, and the joy of sharing is inspiring. You happily take the balloon and ask her to sit next to you. As you point to the skylight, you both enjoy the moment of pure human connection, full of pure joy and innocence. Soon to be distracted by her mother's presence, she happily leaves to join her family, taking her balloon with her. She leaves a warm smile in your heart, as you know you have done the same for her. You realize how the brief moments of pure human connection is all we need to renew our faith in humanity. You decide to go get some food for yourself. You choose a quaint pizza cafe by the musical fountain. The cafe is known for its open clean pizza. A wood fire baked pizza has a unique aroma and taste. As you sit there watching the baker place your order into the wood fire, you see how the fire, while not having any shape, seems to eagerly await the arrival of yet another section of dough, lending its heat to cook it to perfection. And yet, needing the baker's attention to ensure the pizza doesn't get burnt. Just as the fire of desire within us should be effective in bringing constructive action, but our awareness ensures the desire doesn't overtake us and lead us to fury. So it doesn't lead us to greed to consume all until we have nothing but cinders. You realize how everything we are blessed with can be used as a strength, and yet, when not nurtured mindfully, may lead to destruction of our soul. You mindfully savor each mouthful of the soul-enriching pizza, satiating your digestive agni, your digestive fire. Once done with lunch, you make your way to the fountain. This musical fountain is beautifully presented. The rise and fall of the water is synchronized to the sound of crystal singing bowls. The water rising has the gentle vibrations of higher notes, as if rising from your belly to your crown. And as it falls gracefully from high above, it hits lower tones as it descending from your crown to your feet. And falls perfectly on the round stones placed at the bed of the fountain. Your senses catch each note as you listen attentively and feel the vibrations within your body. The different colored lights seem to resonate with the sound, glowing from bright hues of orange, moving into yellow, green, blue, indigo, to purple. And then bringing down with it fluorescent shades of purple, indigo, sky blue, pink, yellow, orange, and red. As you sit there taking in this beauty, you feel a sense of gratitude of how the element of water, without pride, satiates our thirst. And it allows us to draw strength from its purity. It is a realization that has been hidden away for a while now. And you feel a gentle teardrop from your right eye. You know that as is a sign of the pure gratitude you feel within your soul. And you aspire to imbibe this purity from your soul. As time drifts by, you notice the hustle and bustle in the mall has picked up. You decide to step into one more corner of the mall, which has truly been an interesting observation hub for you today. This unique corner in the mall is a small activity center that has been created to keep young and old entertained and engaged. It has sections dedicated to various games and includes a very special butterfly enclosure. You enjoy the opportunity to go to this enclosure whenever you visit this mall. On your way to the butterfly enclosure, you notice a new addition, an archery corner. You don't know why, but you feel like this is something you have always wanted to try your hand at, without consciously thinking about it or indulging in it for the lack of opportunity. But today is different, and you quickly join the queue for a few rounds of archery, telling yourself that this is going to be fun. Now it strikes you just how intuitive it was to make this mall visit an experience just for yourself today. It's your turn for the archery. You have 3 tries. You are given the instructions on what's the best way to hold the bow, gives you instructions about your posture, and obviously asks you to keep your eye on the middle of the target. You get ready. Your first attempt is not very impressive. You take a nice deep breath in and you center your attention to the spiritual symbolism of archery. Aligning with one's center, aligning with the truth from one's heart, with full focus, dedication, and faith. With that focus, you go in for the next try and you hit the bull's eye. Not just once, but twice. And you are elated to see the focus of the mind and heart together and what it brought to you today. The great achievement of the bull's eye. You acknowledge the power of focus, determination, and faith pulsating within you. And you anchor this sensation for times you may need it again. Feeling very happy with this experience, you decide to take a quick look at the butterfly enclosure. It is always a joy to go in there, as their beautiful colors and designs always leave you amazed. The fluttering of the butterflies, with that sense of excitement and freedom, reminds you of your childhood days, of just dancing to your own inner rhythm. And the highlight is always looking closely at the caterpillar that are also in the enclosure. Their transformation is always an analogy of how one can transform themselves from a caterpillar to a beautiful butterfly. You know you have transformed a number of times before, and life will keep bringing opportunities for more transformation. All we need to do is be accepting and enjoy the process. Enjoying your last few minutes with the caterpillars and butterflies, you quickly head to the store where you needed to get some quick supplies. You are impressed with your focus today. Without any distractions, you wrap up your shopping and you head back home. Nothing seems to take you away from the state of focus and lightness. Trips to the mall have never been so fulfilling. The mall has been a true representation of life for you today. The only contribution you made was being present and aware as a keen observer. You quickly finish with your evening chores and choose to have a warm drink on the terrace, excited to sit in the silence of the buck full moon. You can see why the buck's new antlers have so much significance, as you feel brand new today. The different gurus that you encountered through the entire day today at the mall made you see the presence of so many gurus in everyday occurrences. And it is only your presence and your heightened awareness that allowed you to recognize them. You quickly recap the gurus from today. There was the guru in the wind who reminded you of the freedom in expressing your truth. The spider of the transient nature of the world. Your own ability to avoid temptation when you reminded yourself of the fish who becomes victim of its own desires. And choosing instead to imbibe the qualities of a bee who believes in simple pleasures of life without bringing discomfort to any. The vastness of the sky showing the infinite nature of self. And then, of course, the innocent child and her sense of freedom from material attachment. And how can you forget the fire and water that have the power to create and destroy, but yet remain pure in its own form? And one to be anchored is the symbolism of the archery, evoking the power of focus and determination to accomplish. The caterpillar and butterflies, setting the example of transformation. And now, as you're sitting there, looking at the full moon, seeing how the full moon illuminates the light within, leading to fertility, transformation, completion and abundance. and a perfect reminder to take stock of how far you have come in the completion of the stepping stone you had chosen to fulfill on the new moon 2 weeks back. You send out gratitude to all the gurus that you have acknowledged and not acknowledged through your entire life. The gurus came in the shape of parents, teachers, friends, family, acquaintances, life's experiences, good and challenging, and most of all, moments in the chaos of life that bring wisdom just as you had experienced today. Each of them took you to the doorway of self-realization, but your human free will demanded awareness and mindfulness before you take the final step alone. Your focus and resolve must be the strongest. The Guru lies within you, and all the great teachers are nothing other than the mirrors of your own self. The light you see in these divine beings is a reflection of your own light. You cannot bow to any external guru without also bowing to yourself. The end of the journey is to rediscover the enlightened guru that is none other than your own self. As Ramana Maharishi said, the Guru is none other than the self. As the seeker's mind is bent outward, the self takes a human shape as a Guru to help drive it inward. The Guru is your own self. You feel radiant, complete, empowered with this realization. As you gently retire for the night, only to wake up bright and refreshed the next day. Feeling complete and whole, return to this present moment. In your mind's eye, recreate the space where you started today's meditation. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale with a sense of calmness and confidence. And gently, with the next exhalation, open your eyes. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that was a good trip to the mall for each one of you. Settle down and do let me know how the experience was for you. And if you found any more gurus that I did not mention, I'm going to, in the meantime, get guidance for my intention towards the cards today is, with our new antlers, with our new wisdom, after all the chaos that we've experienced, that we have gleaned from this whole process, how do we step into the world with confidence, keeping that center of our guru within us? So I'm going to pick up the first guidance is on how do we step out, and then the second one will be how do we keep our vibrations high to keep our center, and the third one will be how do we continue presenting ourselves in the grand scheme. Okay, so the first one is our own energy. Okay, so give me a minute. So this one, I have a feeling we've picked this card one before, but this says, name your higher self. No, I don't think I've got this before in my sessions, but name your higher self. So give your guru a name. Yeah? In other words, and since today we're talking about the guru, higher self, guru, divine spark, this is all parts of the same thing. Name your higher self. So anytime that you, with your new antlers as you step out, leave the old story behind, leave your old image behind, and step into the new with a new name to your higher self, to your guru. Okay? And then I'm going to ask as to what can we do to keep that vibrations high and keep our center. This one is, it says, woo-woo is wonderful. So we have to always have faith in the magic of the universe. So we can keep our vibrations high if we continue believing in the magic of the universe and not let the everyday chaos suck it out. So just as how in the mall, we found different ways and different gurus right in the midst of the hustle bustle of the mall, that's exactly what we need to continue doing. Keep drawing strength from that. And finally, what is the bigger picture? How do we continue sharing that in the larger world, or within each of our world? Yeah, whatever that comprises of. What is the higher sharing? So this is seek solitude. So in the grand scheme, sometimes our guru can slip away, and of course we have to trust in the magic, but we have to regroup every now and then and seek that time alone with our guru to receive that guidance back again. So going back into that silence, perhaps every day. That meditation comes down to meditation, in whichever form is meditation for you. It could be in the context of this, it could be in the context of going for a walk, it could be involving yourself in an activity where you feel fulfilled, whether it's art or writing or reading a book or being in silence with somebody you love rather than having the need to speak. Finding that quiet space, because ultimately It's about our own wisdom, tapping into that wisdom. And sometimes with the chatter of life, we can lose connection with our own inner wisdom. So that was today's guidance. Now, I have not received any messages coming in. I'm not sure if some of you have been sending me messages, but like a previous time, I'm not receiving them. So I'm just going to wait till I hear something, perhaps some thumbs ups, some acknowledgement, just so that I know you're there on the other side for me, because this is quite an amazing platform where I'm talking to all of you, I'm connecting with each one of you, and only through your messages that I know that you're there. So that's basically, I'm sure you are, but I'm not picking up any of the messages today. And I'm just going to allow myself to let the system fix itself. If not, and I will, of course, respond to each of your messages later on if I don't get to. Oh, there you are. I got one. Yay. Charlotte says she feels very calm, no images, but sometimes I saw a very bright white light. Okay, so my uncle says he was very impressed. Were you impressed with how you experienced the calmness in the chaos? Was that your key, takeaway from today's meditation? And so I was talking about Lord Dattatreya earlier, who had 24 gurus, and what I did was I used some of those in today's meditation. So that is what I used, but then of course I've added some more of what I felt was important. So Kim has shared with us that she was a very interesting journey in the mall, and you look forward to the next trip. Choose a good mall, Kim, so that you can come away with that same experience. Thank you, Christine, for saying you love the visuals. Thank you, Johnny. I'm glad you enjoyed the message from today's meditation. Okay, so Lita came up with another guru through today's meditation, and it says, I did contemplate on respecting others' opinion and being non-judgmental. It is another guru. Absolutely. We such a beautiful guru that you tapped into. I would love to know, Lita, at what point did that feeling evoke in you? Please let me know, if we can manage it through today's messages, that at what point in the meditation, because I'd like to know as to what evoked that for you. Savita, who joined us from Muscat today, said, thank you for the wonderful session. Felt so good hearing you, and I feel so much gratitude for all the gurus. Absolutely. Oh, wow. And thank you, Savita, for saying that. Thank you for being the mirror that reflected the guru inside me. Absolutely. We are all helping each other, and all the Ha gurus and the Na gurus are just as important in our lives. Right, okay. And Joni says she appreciates the meaning of the word guru at the beginning. Absolutely. I think there are some words that we just sometimes use without really knowing the deeper meaning to it, and getting to know the deeper meaning helps us to have a new relationship with it, and we sort of then are able to draw more strength from it. So Charlotte shares about the weather where she is. It's a windy day, and I did go and sit outside and then plan to do a walk after my quarantine, and it's through a park. Wonderful. That's great. So I kind of read your mind where you were today, Charlotte. So even though you're not in Abu Dhabi with me today, sitting in the UK, and I can't of course read what else you've said because it says see more, but I will see it later on. That's wonderful. So please remember today's guidance. Name your higher self, give it a name, or at least recognize its presence with you each day by going into that quiet space with yourself, whether it is a walk in the park or sending out that message with the wind and letting it speak to you, bring the essence of your true self back to you, and never lose faith with the magic of the universe, the power of the universe. I think what has been coming to me in my own meditation a lot is meeting the universe halfway, always being mindful that you are also contributing to that journey, and then let the universe come back to you and where the meeting point happens. So Lita's come back with that answer to my question earlier. I was actually teary-eyed, especially it was when you spoke about the tear from the right eye, and that's when I got this in my higher self. How beautiful, Lita. So the purity of water, the essence of water, was brought that up for you, and that was the deepest guru within you, your higher self, that brought that beautiful what should I say, wisdom back to you today. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's so special to hear, Lita. I really appreciate that. So with that, enjoy your full moon night wherever you are today. And do remember, the ones who were with me 2 weeks back at the new moon, we had taken one stepping stone towards our greater intention that we want to manifest for ourselves. We had put in that first stepping stone. Check in today. Today's the halfway mark. Check in where you are with that stepping stone. If you missed out certain synchronistic events that were helping you to fulfill that stepping stone, did you acknowledge it? Did you take action on it? If you haven't, can you do that? Because that was the waxing part of the moon, and we are now going to go into the sorry, was it the waning? Yeah, the waning part. And so the light, it's going to diminish until it brings us to the next new moon, when we are going to put in the new intention towards our next stepping stone. Or perhaps for some of you, you are already on your way to fulfilling your greater intention. Wherever you are on your journey, I wish you well. Thank you for being the amazing light in my life through these 4 months of sharing different meditations on Sunday. I look forward to connecting with you next Sunday. Take care of yourselves, and keep smiling, and stay positive and stay healthy. Take care, and bye-bye.